My name is Dr. Tony Lebro. We're doing a talk tonight on mental health, emotional and physical health, and how they work together. And we have a group here at the Lebro Center for Wellbeing at the talk, and some past and new patients. The talking points are going to be body, mind, health, and what affects the body also affects the mind. One of the things that I find is when people come to me, they're on antidepressants, and I test their body through applied kinesiology, and they're still depressed. And all the medication is doing is suppressing their emotions. And I always had a gut feeling about all these shootings in the last 20 years, that they would put these kids in jail, but they would never really handle the cause of the problem. Well, I just saw on Facebook, doctor did a study that every shooting that's been done in the last 20 years, all those kids have been on some type of psychotropic drug. And the key thing is they'll always say, before they shot, they had a blank look on their face. That's one of the signs that you're on drugs. My question is, why don't we hear about that? How do you take that child that was given a drug by the psychiatrist and the drug company are not being held liable for this, and that poor kid is being put in jail? That's what I question. Okay? See what I'm getting at? I've never met in 20 years anyone that had a drug deficiency. Just think about that. Your body runs on what? Nutrition, fuel. Okay? If you have a car and you put milk in it, is it going to work? No, because it was made to run on octane. Your body runs on food. And more people, I feel bad for the elderly because they're trying to make a decision between spending money on food and spending money on medication.
That's usually on medication.
That's right. So what we're doing here is we're treating the symptoms, because that's what the money is. You know, when I first went into practice, there used to be a psychiatrist and a counselor. And everybody was referred to the counselor, there was no medication, and they would only go to the psychiatrist if there was real problems. Now it's just counselors, drugs, and psychiatry drugs. It's all about drugs. What kind of possibilities are the causes of somebody having mental health problems? Can you tell me?
The atmosphere that they're living in.
The atmosphere they're living in? Okay. What do you say?
Toxic household products.
Toxic household products, a good point.
Just interaction with people.
Interaction with people? What do you think?
Deficiency.
Nutritional deficiencies. You brought up a good point. A lot of patients will come to me and they'll say, my doctor diagnosed me with so-and-so mental problem because I have a heavy metal, not a heavy metal, I have a chemical deficiency. Okay. So you know what I asked him to do? Go back to your doctor and ask him what the chemical is. Well, he doesn't know. Go back to the doctor and ask him if the drug that you're taking has the chemical that you're lacking. No. Now, does that make any sense?
No.
So why are you on the drug? You see the point I'm making? It's a no-brainer. You got it? Okay. The other thing is, you ever watch people driving sometime? They look like robots. See, when I drive, I'm looking where I'm going, but I'm enjoying the scenery, the bushes, the birds, and I'm moving around. I'm not like on a mission, even though I'm going somewhere, right? These look like robots driving, because they spend too much time up here analyzing. When you spend your whole life analyzing, that's like a dog chasing his tail. How you want to live is like a menu. You either want to create ideas, goals, achievements, or you want to have counter intentions and worry about stuff. Worrying to me is like a dog chasing his tail. You're just going in a circle. So analyzing constantly, and not creating will cause deregulation of the brain and also low blood sugar. If you wake up, a lot of my patients when they first come here, what do you have for breakfast? Nothing. What do you have for lunch? Oh, I skip it. What do you eat at lunch? A big meal. Now, your blood sugar is regulated in the morning between 10 and 10:30. So you're going to be eating protein then, to help regulate their blood sugar. And then it drops between around 12 and 5. Now, if you're skipping those 2 times, how are you going to be mentally and physically? How's your thoughts going to be? You're going to have brain fog. By 2 o'clock, after having your salad to try to reduce weight, you're yawning and you're exhausted. You ever see people after lunch? They're yawning. Why? No blood sugar regulation, not enough protein, which regulates the blood sugar, and protein during the day converts to energy. Protein at night converts to fat. So what happens? Your energy is down, got brain fog during the day, and you're putting weight on because you're eating at night. Okay? How does that affect you mentally and physically? On top of that, you're overanalyzing. How does that work? Doesn't work too good, does it? How many of you known before you came here that you can treat depression naturally, and how many of your friends know that? You don't see that announced on TV, do you? They're always talking about the latest drug right now is a pill that you can take or a shot that you can take for allergies. They're never talking about what the cause of the problem is and how to prevent it. Okay? What are some of the ways that you can cope when you're feeling down?
What are some of the ways you can cope
When you're feeling down, yeah.
Positive thinking and
Mm-hmm.
relaxing
And eating good foods.
and eating good food.
Yeah. Certain foods cause inflammation. Certain foods also regulate your mood. Okay, make you feel better. But if you're not eating properly, you can't do that, can you? What areas of your life do you have a possibility of improving? Anyone?
All of them.
All of them. Okay, go ahead.
And you can improve your health. You
Your
can
health.
Improve your mind.
You can improve your mind.
You can improve your physical shape.
Yep.
You can improve your situation.
Right.
You can always improve.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So what advice would you give somebody that feels they have to go to their doctor all the time and take medication and treat the symptoms rather than the cause?
There's always another way.
That's right, there's other choices. Most people build themselves a box, and what I mean by that, they build a box where there's no choices. I had a patient once who was a nurse, and she was on Paxil. Paxil is one of the easiest drugs to get on, and one of the most difficult to get off.
Yes.
She cried for 6 months, tears. It was like I had to guide her through it and talk to her every night. And I said, after 6 to 9 months, helped her detox, I said, can you explain to me how it felt being on Paxil? And this was her description. She goes, it's like watching TV in the house. My husband comes by and says the house is on fire, and she keeps on watching the TV. That's how Paxil works, according to what she said.
Is Paxil an antidepressant?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, those are antidepressants. Okay. So, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just fixing.
Okay, I thought you went like that, so I thought you were raising your hand, which is okay. And how many of you here know people that are on antidepressants? Okay. And how many people do you know, young people that have committed suicide? Okay. Okay. And we talked about the shootings. Okay. And you don't hear about that. That's why I'm bringing it up, so you can say something. You never heard about the shootings, what drug they're on. You just heard that they had a blank face. You got the gun. Because when you're on drugs, they suppress your emotions. And when they suppress your emotions, it's like a pressure cooker. You have to express those emotions. So you're not being yourself. So we have a responsibility to ourselves. We have a responsibility to the community. We have a responsibility to the planet. Okay? Because everything works together. Okay? And you don't want to spend your time in this much space. Okay? Not much space to play with, is there? You want to be out of your head, not in your head. Analyzing. There's a proper time to analyze. If I'm taking a test, or I have to figure out a problem, then I'm gonna give myself so much time, but I'm not gonna spend the whole day analyzing, which most people do. Okay? And that just brings you down. Okay? So you wanna create. Out-create your problem, like Einstein said. You wanna out-create the problem at a higher level than it was created. What's the definition of insanity? Anybody know?
Doing the same thing over and over.
Doing the same thing
expecting a
over and
different
over and
result.
expecting a different results. And that's basically what people do when they're taking psych drugs. Okay? I just put something on the, I saw something on the Facebook the other day that side effects from 160 new medications and 0 with supplements. And people also get confused between a supplement and a whole food, and most of you have read some of the books. So you know that a supplement or a whole food supplement comes from the garden, and a regular vitamin comes from man-made. And that's just a fraction of the supplement. Just a fraction. It's not a whole. So you can imagine building a clock and just taking a fraction of it and try to make sure it works. Clock's not going to work, is it? It's going to be the whole thing. It's going to be the whole thing. That's why I practice all these years, because I see miracles all the time. Keeps me going.